Hello, 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 hello. Hey, hey, hey. How are you all doing? How are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Football Trio. You have our resident analysts, Tru3lion. How are you, sir?
Good evening. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing
All
great.
right.
Wonderful.
Great, great, great. And our human encyclopedia, football encyclopedia in human form, Steve Ajab, how are you doing today?
Beauty, beauty, beauty. Doing great, doing great, doing great.
You all can tell I'm probably worn out because of the emotional topsy-turvy evening we've had. It almost feels like one should start watching the AFCON in the 80th minute every single game. It looks like there's always something in store for each game in the last 5 or 10 minutes, especially when that board goes up with the last few minutes that are left on the game. But it's been an amazing day, a great day for me because I predicted Algeria was not going to make it to the second round. So I'm really excited, even more than the fact that Cameroon made it through. But today on this episode, I think it's 1.9, episode 9 of the Football Trio, we will be talking through all the action of the day as well as focusing or really zooming in on the Cameroon national team and its outing today against Gambia. Yeah. So, without much ado, let's jump right in. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for keeping the rendezvous. We are really happy you're here, but please, please, please do not forget to share, like, or subscribe, right, to our channels Facebook, X, YouTube, everywhere, everywhere. Just do it and engage us in conversation so we can have an amazing and fruitful conversation about what we're really seeing happen to Cameroon. So, uh, what do we talk about first? Do we talk about the fact that Angola shocked everybody and ahead of Group D, where everybody was maybe thinking Algeria or Burkina Faso? Or do we talk about the fact that Mauritania actually beat somebody in the Nations Cup? Algeria, they beat the Algeria 1-0. Or do we start off with Senegal, making sure that nobody can catch them and they can defend their title well? Then we can
Senegal, Senegal is going to be a very quick one, so I think that should be the way we start. It's going
let's
to be a very quick one. Yeah.
let's go with Senegal, gentlemen. Let's go with Senegal. Senegal versus Guinea. Senegal made quick work of Guinea, sort of not what everybody expected, but it was good and a little surprising for me to see that Senegal went with a semi-strong or quite strong team lineup.
Like
Um,
really, really strong team. Senegal made only two changes to the team that played against Cameroon. Abdoulaye Sek replaced Diallo and Nempais Mendy replaced the young Lamine Camara.
Mara, that's right.
So I think it doesn't look like he was going to keep players resting for the third game. I was surprised. Maybe he was also looking at the fact that if if he ends up putting a weaker side, not really a weaker side, but not his A team, and Guinea ends up beating them, they're going to finish second. They didn't want to finish second, so they wanted everything to be in place. Lami Camara may have been tired due to inexperience. He wanted him to rest and get him ready for the knockout phase. But Abdoulaye Sek started in place of Diallo. Diallo, I think Diallo has two yellow cards already. I think he was probably preventing him from having a third yellow card to miss the knockout phase. So I think that's why he rested Abdoulaye Sek. And also wanted Abdoulaye Sek to at least have a game or so in his hands because he hasn't played any game before then. But the way Senegal played like they were the team that needed to win to maybe make it to the knockout phase. Played very similar to what Cape Verde did against Egypt. And like I said, every day when I watch Senegal play, they defend as a group, they attack as a group. If you see Senegal about to score a goal, watch where Koulibaly is like at the center line. It's not like a fluke. You see the goals, it's like they plan the goals. It's not like a fluke where someone stands at the back and give a long pass and then something happens. If it's not a set piece, you see the organization building up from the back. So it shows that it's a team, a group of guys who have been there forever. They know each other, they know the strengths, the weaknesses, and they're down for business. So Senegal looks like a team which could, we're getting to the knockout phase where anything could happen, but Senegal looks like a team that's going to make it through to like maybe one of the very final phase of the competition.
Who do you think can stop Senegal then? Truly,
Um,
that one.
for me, I'm not a fan of that thing that they say no small team, no day. Small teams always exist. That's why when they beat the big teams, it's a shock. So the problem of no small team, no day, I'm not a fan of that thing. Small teams do exist, big teams do exist. They always favorites for competitions. That's why if Equatorial Guinea wins this competition, it's going to be a shock. It's going to be a surprise. If Cape Verde wins, it's going to be a surprise. The problem now is let's wait and see the small teams, the teams that we call small teams. Let's see how they perform in the knockout phase if they're going to be able to withstand that pressure in the knockout phase. That's when you know consistency. It's not just about winning one or two games. It's about how consistent you take your confidence and you build up to the next phase of the competition. Because right now, if you lose, you don't have a first game and a second game. You're out. Once you lose this game, you're out, even if it's 1-0. So you have top teams you have teams that are like top teams favorites that will go and score you one goal and sit at the back because they know what the knockout phase looks like. So let's wait and see how the so-called small teams that have been shocks for the competition, how they're going to do in the knockout phase. But the experienced teams too, or the big teams, they should stop relying on their past records and actually face football as it is right now, as it is nowadays. So, Tru3lion, over to you.
I think it's not a matter of. I mean, the way we see Senegal came out and lined up, they are about business, right? Senegal knows that they have 5 day. I think they play on Monday, if I'm
Monday.
not mistaken. They
Monday,
Yeah,
play
yeah,
Monday,
Monday.
right?
Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yes. And they play. Is it Ivory Coast?
No, no, Ivory Coast is not qualified yet, so we don't know if it's Ivory Coast.
Right, yes, we don't know who they're playing against. It's still to be determined. It's going to be
Ivory
one of
Coast,
it's going to be
Ivory
one of
Coast
the
is
lucky three.
yeah, one of the four third place teams. The Ivory Coast qualification is based on tomorrow's games because you have if Morocco beats Zambia and Congo beats Tanzania, then Ivory Coast
Tanzania,
is going to qualify. But it's still depending on that. And then the other game too, you have Tunisia. If South
Mali,
Africa, if South Africa,
Namibia, and
if South,
Tunisia.
yeah, if South Africa beats Tunisia and Mali beats Namibia, Ivory Coast qualified. So Ivory Coast now it's probably somewhere in the mosque praying for that to happen. So they still have
because
some
now
chances to make it.
because now they rank third, right, or something like that. Am I right?
Yeah, so yeah, before tomorrow's games, they still rank like third or fourth place, so they still have a chance to qualify. Not, yeah, they still have a chance. Even
Okay.
Ghana
Okay.
has a chance to qualify. They has to be
That's a chance,
extreme.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then it's out
So
of their hands, basically. That's what you're trying to say. So
Hmm.
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it
So
depends on
basically, what I'm saying is that the way Senegal came out and played, it shows that they already have a plan and they're thinking about keeping that momentum going. Because they came out, took care of business, and they are waiting. Now they'll have 5 days to rest, and that's very, very important. 5 days to rest. Meanwhile, Cameroon just played, and Cameroon will play again on Saturday. So that's just 3 days for those teams. So, but I think, as Ajab just said, right, this is now the knockout phase. Let's forget about what actually is basically like you forget about what happened in the first round, right? So it has
Mhm.
to be like you have to be mentally tough and focused in order to go get the job done. However, with that said, if you see some of the teams that are qualifying third and fourth, they are not. It's just that maybe they started the competition like Cameroon started the competition, then you put yourself in a situation where you don't have that confidence, right?
That's right.
So going into now the knockout stage, it's a different ball game where he who recovers better mentally and tactically will have
Tactically
an edge.
able
But
to the advantage.
A team like Senegal, they are one of my favorites, so I still expect them to actually at least make it to the finals. Well, that's my opinion.
I'm Ajab, I want to correct something. Ghana is out
Mm-mm,
because Ghana
Ghana
is
has
out.
2 points.
No,
mm-mm,
yes, and currently, let's just do a quick rundown. Currently, Ivory Coast is third place and they have 3 points in Group A,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Guinea is third place in Group C and they have 4 points.
mhm,
Mauritania is third place in Group D and they have three
mhm,
points.
mhm.
Namibia is third place currently before their game tomorrow.
Oh
Third
yeah,
place
that's good.
in D.
Ghana is out. Ghana has 2 points.
Yeah,
Ghana is out because of
so
Mauritania beating Algeria. Yeah,
exactly.
Mauritania
Because
beating
Mauritania
Algeria
beat
makes
Algeria,
Ghana.
Ghana
Yeah,
is
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mauritania, yeah, Ghana is out because Mauritania beat Algeria. Yeah, Ghana is out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the
Mhm.
only person who is really counting on anything from any of the games tomorrow is Ivory Coast, I should
Mhm.
say. Yeah,
They still
because
have 4 games. There are 4 games for
that's right.
tomorrow. That 4 games, no, 2 games. Are they? Yeah, 4 games
Two games.
tomorrow.
Four
From
games,
the
four
four
games.
games tomorrow, the coach could make it based on the results of the 4 games
Based on the
tomorrow.
results of any of them. Yeah, based on the
Yeah.
results, because they need something to come out of it for them because they're on minus 3 goals and 3 points,
Hmm.
and which is level with Mauritania. Well, Mauritania is minus 1 goal and three
Yeah. No,
points, and
Mauritania is in already. Yeah.
Namibia is minus 3 goals and 3 points. So Ivory
Yeah.
Coast and Namibia are the same right now. So
Exactly.
yeah. Anyways,
So
I just thought I'd clarify that because I looked at it when you said that. I was
mhm.
like, no, I
Yeah, yeah,
thought
yeah.
Ghana
No,
is
that was before. That was before Algeria's game. Ghana was still in the
exactly.
scene before Algeria's game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you we all say that in the second round it's tough to kind of gauge and guess who is going to make it through because everybody's chances are level. You could have a 90-minute game and just go on penalties and go through with a lucky penalty shootout or a good penalty shootout. Keeper can go on the right side every time and stop the penalties. So but from where we are standing, do you really look at it and say Senegal is not here for business?
I
They're
don't
really
understand.
putting up a
The,
good defense of their
oh,
title.
okay. I
It
thought
looks
it's
like,
okay. Yeah.
from all indication, it looks like Senegal is the
The
really the
team to
only
beat.
team that has
No,
convinced consistently over the 3 games, right?
no. Yeah, they're the team. So far, they're the only team that has won all 3 games, right? And they're the only team that will
Yeah.
win all 3 games. They're the only
And they
one.
have played very well consistently throughout the three
They're the
games.
only teams that is the only team that's going to end with 9 points because for tomorrow, Morocco has 4, which is top
Yes,
of the group. Mali has 4.
he has four.
So they are the only
Exactly.
team that's going to end with 9 points.
And let me also tell you, these guys, Senegal is the only thing. Who scored today? Mane scored today.
No. Mane did not score.
It
It's
was
Sek
and
and Jan scored for them.
So they have at least 6 scorers. So
Yeah.
they have
yes,
at least the team.
yes,
Their goals is distributed all
across the
over.
board. That's why I say
Exactly.
they're a really
Hey,
serious team right
Cameroon has 5 scorers. Watch out.
now. Yeah, let's get to that part later. So yeah, that's it for Senegal. I think we can talk about that again when we're setting up for the show on Saturday or Sunday. When next do they play again? Monday.
Senegal
Money.
plays on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, when they play on Monday. Let's talk a little bit about one of the other games today: Angola versus Burkina Faso, and actually Group D. Let's talk about Group D: Angola versus Burkina Faso, as well as Mauritania shocking the entire world and beating Algeria. Nothing put a smile on my face like seeing Belmadi cry. And I was the happiest man after that game. I was smiling as if I had just won the lottery. Your thoughts, guys? Mauritania surprisingly make
I
it into
watched I watched the entire game. I missed about 2 minutes of that game, and that was like the 2 minutes just when the second half started.
that. Mhm,
Trust me, I've never seen such an underdog perform against a favorite. Not they didn't sit back. They only sat back like the last 5 minutes.
mhm,
They only sat back like they didn't play. Let's say they play counter attack football during like the from the 65th minute of play. But from the first minute of play, they started playing football. Nigeria they were painting the ball and doing all that, but the guys were on target and they were physically fit. Someone even said that he has a feeling that they're going to test them for draws or something because they played the first minute and the 91st minute with the same intensity. Yeah, the guy Koita, that guy who scored the magic goal against Angola, which is like a goal of the tournament contender. The guy is very good with the ball, man. Everything ends with him. Everything ends. It's like when they hold the ball, they're like, "Where is Koita? Let's give it to Koita." You know, like Nigeria playing for Osimhen. It's like they know that's their own superstar. Let's play for him. So I really love the way the guys play and the way they defended. Algeria at some point they gave up. They gave up on organizing and tried to play the long balls, but the Mauritanians were still superb with the airborne duels. They won 95% of the airborne duels. That's the good. That is like they had a plan in mind. That was like, if you guys cannot beat us on the ground, you guys will not beat us in the air. That's how they came for the game, and it's like they knew that winning this game is going to
meant
take us to the next group stage. So
yeah.
let's not just go and win because we want to step Algeria from making it to the knockout phase, but we also have that chance of making it to the knockout phase. and they came with that mentality. And they had a good. I always want to talk, I always like to talk about build up play. Teams that don't have that individual talents, they rely on the transition, build up play. One, two, three passes, you're in the opponent's camp. That's all you have to do. No need
Yeah,
passing the ball amongst yourself in the midfield when you're not creative. Only creative teams do that structured passes among yourself. Once the ball leaves the keeper and goes to the left back, you have the holding midfielder coming to get the ball. Once he gets the ball, he gives it to offensive midfielder. It's a goal. It's a scoring chance. That's how Mauritania played today.
amazing.
Yeah,
So, Lion,
I think
if I want to talk about that game, we're gonna be here for the next 2 3 hours. That's one of my
yes.
best games. I watched
It
it.
was
I
a
watched, yeah.
masterclass
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah. So true, Lion, I
for
don't
it.
know. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Belmadi actually this might just be his last game with Algeria because he left some key players actually on the bench. Maybe he was trying to point out to them that they did not do well in the previous game. However, leaving a guy like Mares, Bentaleb, yeah, I know in the first game Bentaleb caused that penalty and all that, but when you leave such key players on the bench and those that started don't do the work, you bring them up in the second half and all that, but nothing changed the flow of the game. The opponent already has like momentum going forward. Then it's kind of difficult. So now that he's been kicked out yet again in the first half, in the first group. Remember
First
when
round.
the last African Cup of Nations? No, I mean the African Cup of Nations that they
No,
won. They won in 2019, right?
the one
So
in
in
19 and
2021, yes, they got
yeah,
kicked out. Yes,
Yes, yes.
exactly. So
yeah.
this
So
is
they
the
haven't
second
won.
time.
Yeah, they haven't won a game since they won the finals against Senegal. They haven't won a game in the AFCON since they won the
Exactly.
finals against Senegal in 2019.
Exactly. So this is a coach who comes in and creates he talks a lot and stuff like that, and he cannot back it up on the field. So I guess he will be. This is his last job for Algeria, in my
And
opinion.
and he's the highest paid. He's the highest paid coach in African football for national teams.
Oh,
He's paid
really?
more than every European-based coach in Africa. He is the highest paid coach for amongst all the national team coaches. Belmadi is the highest.
I mean,
Top,
I
top.
said it on the
Yeah.
first day when we were previewing the tournament. I said the best part of this thing would be for me if Algeria didn't make it to the second round. And I'm the happiest person. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm the happiest person for this because they're ending with what, 2 points? That's two draws and a loss. And the loss came from the most unlikely of opponents, Mauritania, which Mauritania didn't only beat them, the 1-0 score is hurtful, but Mauritania handily beat them. So it was a 1-0 thrashing, if you could say, versus a 5-0 walloping. But I just wanted to point out that the gentleman you pointed out for Mauritania, Abubakari Koita, that's the
Mm-hmm.
name. He's 25 years old, born in September. Yay, yay. Attacking midfielder for Saint-Trudien, a Belgian
Yeah.
team.
Truly, yeah. He plays in Belgium. Mm-hmm.
That's really good to see. I had no clue that people in from Mauritania play outside of their country, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you for calling that out, Ajab. That's why you're the football encyclopedia in human form. So we have quite a few folks on. There's been some comments. I don't want to go to the comments just yet. I want us to stay on task. Let's talk about Angola versus Burkina Faso. A few of us had Burkina Faso going through easily in this group,
No,
um, even though there
no.
were some questions about, well, a few of us. I mean, maybe a third of one of three. One of
I
three
knew
had
they were.
Algeria, one of three had Burkina Faso, and
I
one of
knew
three.
I knew Burkina Faso was going to make it to the knockout phase. Not like top of group, but they have the way of always making it to like quarterfinals, semifinals. That's how they do their stuff. You're going to see them maybe knockout phase. They're going to win the round of 16 in penalties, and then they win 2-1 in the quarter, and then you see them in the semis. That's how they normally do that's how they normally do their stuff. But
But they were
this
not
time
they were not
around,
as imperial this time though. They were not as imperial. I mean, they conceded 4 goals and scored only three.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
But
Yes.
Burkina Faso finished second, right?
yeah. The
That's
But
right.
finish
the
second.
only, the
Yeah,
only
that's
person, the only person that we thought I thought was gonna go home was Angola and Mauritania, and
mhm.
look at where they finished. Algeria is
Mhm.
the one going home.
Yeah,
You
there's been
know,
a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises this AFCON.
No, no,
And
no. That's why I don't watch. I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any EPL, Bundesliga, La Liga since the AFCON started.
what is that? Arsenal played on Saturday, and I didn't even
No,
look at
honestly, I focus on because this AFCON, no, the guys have proven to me that they're worth
it's
spending time.
and
They're worth spending time watching them how they play, and then I want to look how they play and see what. Yeah, it's minus the character. There's something else in the football that some of those coaches is just that some of those coaches who are coaching those national team football, they
mhm,
have something. They have something in their back that people need to tap out of it because it's not normal, man. You see
yeah,
some teams the way they play the football, you don't understand. They don't look, national team football is difficult because you meet those guys, they play with their club sides on a daily basis. They just come to camp, train for 1 week, 2 weeks, and then to have them play together like that, you must be doing something that it's really, really good. It's up with club football, they play every day, you train every day, so you know. But those guys train every day and then they just come maybe 1 week or 2 weeks to the start of the AFCON, they train for 3, 4, 5 days, and you have them playing together. And they play like their club side that play every day. So thumbs up to the AFCON 2023. I hope moving forward is going to be the same momentum, the same. So each time you come in now, when Algeria qualifies for next AFCON, they're going to be coming as minnows, not as favorites. Because twice in a row, they've been out in the group stage. When Morocco is coming next time, Morocco is not going to be coming like the semi-finalists of the World Cup. They're going to come in like a team that were battered or disturbed by Congo Democratic.
mhm,
When Cameroon is coming next time, they're going to be coming like a team that needed last minute and on goal and last minute to beat Gambia. When
yeah.
Nigeria is coming, Nigeria is going to come as a team that needed an own goal to beat Guinea-Bissau.
Maybe so.
So that's how it's supposed to be. I like it. I like the way the AFCON is unfolding this time around. I want it to be like
Oh,
this moving forward. Yeah.
Nigeria needed a penalty. Cameroon is the one that benefited from an own goal. All
Hmm.
right.
Nigeria's goal against Guinea-Bissau yesterday was an own goal from
Oh
Guinea-Bissau.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying they needed an own goal
That's
to
the
beat
second.
Guinea-Bissau.
That was
Yeah.
the second. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. A lot to take home, a lot to unpack. Let's. I don't know if I should do like some drum roll before we go talk about this continent. But I think the point has come where we have to really talk about this Cameroon experience, I should say. Um, let's talk about let's start with Cameroon. When the lineups came out today, let's do this emotional roller coaster together. When the lineups came out today, what was your first thought? True Lion, go.
Well, I was not worried about the lineup per se, but it's just how they will play out. Because when I saw the lineup coming up in a 3-4-3, which is more of an offensive, keeping the wing backs up high, I thought Anguissa would have more of a
Opportunity in the
creative role.
forward
You
row.
have more of an attacking role going forward and all that, but that did not happen, and I was disappointed with that because that actually left Cham moving higher than Anguissa, and Cham doesn't have that technical, is not up that
Ability.
technical ability as Anguissa in order to play make. So, but when I saw the lineup, also I saw Ondua as opposed to Onana. I was like, okay, it's fine, let's go. Because I said this, I said Onana made a mistake to come back with the Lions because
Yes.
what's happening is that when your coach does not have confidence in you, no matter what happens, he will always be looking for a small mistake in order to put you back on the bench. And when you have a coach that does that, then yeah, then it's not a healthy. It becomes an unhealthy environment for everybody.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Ajab, what did you think when you saw the lineup?
Um, I was looking at, like I mentioned yesterday, the pre-match, the preview. I thought Cameroon was going to play a game with two center forwards. That's how I looked at the game. I didn't know they were going to play Mali. Sorry, why did I say Mali? Gambia is not the team that I thought Cameroon would play a 3-4-3 setup. I saw them coming to play like a 4-4-2 where Kambi on the right, Kudu on the left, and then you have Magri and then Mumanyang or something. But at the same time, again, I said, okay, maybe Song is not, maybe starting with two new guys up front is going to be maybe a problem. Maybe if we had Abubakar ready, then he could start Abubakar and Magri up front. But because you have every attacking option or center forward option, Cameroon have now a new guys. Maybe it was like, maybe let me not give these two new guys the option to start up front and then something goes sour and then we have no one coming off the bench. But I knew for sure Cameroon was going to start with two center midfields because the previous two games, they played with three, it didn't work. So for sure, I knew it was going to be two people in the center of the pack. And like True Lion said, he said, but if you notice, most teams when they play with 4-3-4, the two central midfields play deep. That's what I noticed. Unless it's a team that is very confident of their system, that they have maybe one defensive and one offensive. But most teams that play with the 4-3-4, where you have three center backs and wing backs, the two center midfields are those who sit and play a little deep. So Cameroon played a little deep. But one thing about Cameroon, first 10 minutes of the game, they were good. Another 10, 15 minutes in the second half, they were good. Besides that, they didn't really put up a good show. But I want your question was based on the lineup, so I don't want to go into the details right
That's
now. Yeah.
right. All right. So you have the lineup. You have your thoughts. Game starts. Let's go for first 5 minutes when what's his name? The gentleman had the miss, the near miss, which he
Margaret,
saved.
Margaret,
No, not Cameroon.
Margaret.
Not Cameroon. Gambia. I'm talking
No,
about Gambia here.
no,
The
Cameroon
man,
had a mix. Cameroon had a mix
I
first
know. I don't want to
before.
talk about that one. I don't want to
Okay,
talk about
okay,
I'm skipping it for a reason. There's a reason.
okay,
I'm trying to build an emotional roller coaster here because that's exactly how I felt. So I want to make
okay.
sure we go through this so I can understand and see if you guys felt the same way. What's his name? What was his name? Was it Yusufa Bob or whatever? He took a shot and he Ondua saved it. I think that was the first save Ondua made. Yeah, it was Bob, right? I think you're muted again, True Lion. I think you're muted. Yeah, it was Yusufa Bob. When he made that save, I sat back and I was like, okay, good. Ondua has justified his selection, his reason for being selected. And then there was another shot. And then there was another shot. It felt like Gambia was just looking to take the game to Cameroon. What were you thinking at that moment, just before we scored?
Just before we scored. No.
Yes.
The first half of the game, the first 10 minutes or first 15 minutes of the game was like nobody two teams just trying to see where we could build up from,
Mhm.
trying to study how Cameroon is playing. Cameroon trying to study how Gambia is playing. Of course, Cameroon, the way they play it, long balls, try to commit a foul, cross somewhere. So that's how Cameroon plays. Gambia was trying to build up. It wasn't working for the first 15 minutes, and then after Magri missed the goal, the Bob guy missed his own goal. Gambia just got into the game. Their passes, and then they were playing. Chato. They were putting Chato on constant pressure throughout the first half of the game. Like, and if you remember, like a few days ago, we talked about. I was telling you about the captain, not the captain, the jersey number 10, Barrow,
Mhm.
and then the young guy Minte. If you notice, number 20 guy, the left-footed guy who played on the left wing is Minte.
Fastest.
Yeah,
Minte
he
is one
plays
of the
for.
fastest in the tournament today. In the
Sorry.
tournament this year, he's one of the fastest players in the tournament this year.
Yeah, he's Newcastle signed him. He plays Newcastle signed him and loaned him out to in Feyenoord. The guy is good. I mentioned Minte and Barrow, and Minte gave Cameroon. If you notice, each time he had to one on one with Castelletto or Chato, it was a problem for them. And then the Benedin, they were not able to. If I had a feeling, if Gambia scored the first half, it would have brought Cameroon's morale a little bit down. The fact
Yeah.
that at the halftime, the fact that the first half ended in a 0-0 tie, it gave Cameroon some momentum. And if you notice, when Cameroon got into the second half, like the first 15 minutes of the second half, even like before Cameroon scored, Ondua barely had any.
Anything.
Ondua barely had any pressure. The only balls he had to touch were maybe like back passes from the defenders. Cameroon was on constant pressure, trying to organize game, still having that lack of creativity, which I don't think is because I used to say Cameroon lacks a number 10, but I've seen teams that don't play with number 10, but they're still able to create. Something is they need to figure out a way to be creative in the final third. They need it in the final third. Cameroon's problem, they lack creativity in the final third. That's why all the goals Cameroon has scored this AFCON from set pieces.
Yep.
Magri scored from Kudus cross. Castellito scores from Cham set piece. Kudus,
Peace.
it can be scored from Kudus cross. The own goal from Chato, and then the corner kick is Wood scored. All the goals. Cameroon hasn't missed a goal which is from a build-up play. So they need to figure out something. Because if you meet a team which is comfortable defending, from the set pieces or preventing you playing the double up. Because another thing is if you a teams are going to watch Cameroon. If Pesera is good, Cameroon plays Nigeria on Saturday. If Pesera is good, Pesera is going to know Cameroon is good. Cameroon scores from set pieces, so they will double up. Kudu will not have the chances to cross the ball. They will not have the chances to cross the ball. And when you play those long balls from your own camp, it's a 2020. It gives the goalkeeper enough time to come and punch or do something. So Cameroon needs a plan B, because if you stop Cameroon from crossing the ball, they have no there's nothing else they can do.
All
So they
right.
need a plan B. Song needs to work on a plan B. The players need to work on the plan B. That's what I noticed in the game. I know
Absolutely.
people who won the CAF man of the match. I think he won the man of the match because of his goal. But I watched the game, the first half, who was out of position twice when Mali was supposed to score us. Sorry, why do I say Mali?
Yeah.
Gambia. Was it the first or the second goal? He was out of position again. He's good with the ball. He needs to figure out how to play
Even the
without
goal that
the
was
ball.
cancelled, even the goal that was cancelled out for handball, he was literally just moments after the ball arrived, and then
Yeah.
he was moving
So
up.
that is different. That was a good pace. That was a good pacey cross that anything could happen. But I've noticed a few times, even against Senegal, he was out of position about 2 or 3 times. So he needs to with the ball. He's good. He's good moving forward, and that he's good talking, organizing his back line. But without the ball, he needs to work on
That's
working,
next to
because
his youth.
what makes a good defender a better defender is without the ball. Because any person who is good, any technically person can play a center back if you're good with the ball. But good without the ball, that's what makes you a top defender. Who is still young, so I know he's going to work on that. I'm not going
He
to
will.
blame him.
He will.
I'm not
As a
going to
young
yeah.
man.
He's too young, so he's going to work on that. But I'm a little bit impressed with the way he plays. He demands. He has some aura when he's with the BR. So I'm good. Is that something which Cameroon needs? That's something which he needs, which he has already. But my problem is him without the ball. He's always lost a little bit when the team is pressing Cameroon. You
All
know,
right.
Gambia came in to play a game. Gambia lacked some physicality, but they were good with quick passes. Cameroon dominated them on the physical aspect of the ball, which has always been Cameroon, what the Frenchman says, point four. But the positive about this match is that Cameroon won. Song changed his formation, changed his tactics for the 20th time in 21 games, and Cameroon won the game. So that's good. Cameroon won the game. That's a positive. Changing the formation was another thing that made them. He came with a 3-5-2. Even though I know when you're playing 3-5-2, in most cases, if you see most teams that play the 3-5-2, they're confident with their wing backs.
Mhm.
Chato and Darlin were not really that wing backs today. They played more like a five in the back, and then yeah. So, but it gave Cameroon the victory. The positive, Cameroon won. Cameroon has made it to the knockout stage, and like
Well,
True
in
Lion
case
said, like I said, which True Lion reiterated on the fact that when you get to a knockout stage, it now more of your mental strength. You can go into a game, you score your one goal at the second minute of the game, and you have 88 minutes to defend, and you defend it. And all the team, you can be a favorite. We saw it with Nigeria last year. Nigeria won 3 games, beat Egypt. I
well,
won all the 3 games. They got to Tunisia. Tunisia scored one goal, and they said, "Okay, we're comfortable. We're going to sit back and defend." And that was the end of the story. So
that's right.
when you get to the knockout phase, there's no time. From the first minute, you have to start. You have to start hitting the iron. You have to
I
start.
mean, a point to make from your comment about the 3-4-3 that ended up being like a 5-3, a 3-5-2, or three. Well, you said 5-3-2. It was that is that because of the fact that the wingers for Gambia were so quick and pressing us that our wing backs had to like almost fall back to the defensive
Yeah,
line.
yeah, you have
They,
a point.
they had
So that's
probably
why. Yeah,
run
that's
for
why
their
I said.
that's
That's
a
why I
run.
said there's a positive in the game that he decided to go to wing backs to. But yeah, I still think that if he used Nolo to sit back as a left back, Nolo Toro is a left back which 1-on-1 you give him 10 on 10. Moving forward, he has a problem, but 1-on-1 with an attacker, I will give him 10 on 10 on that. He's good at that. So, but the wing, from what you said, that's another thing too. Maybe he watched the way Minty and the other guys they
And
PC and
Jab,
said, okay, let me play three in the, let me play three center backs and then
yeah,
two wing backs to protect the pacey wingers, and it worked.
it did work.
Um,
It worked.
yeah,
I mean,
it
for a
worked
while,
per
it worked.
se.
It
The
worked
second
for a
half of the
while.
game, it worked.
Yep.
The first
Yep.
half, it didn't look like Cameroon was playing with three in the back.
Yep.
Cameroon, the guys were so confident. Mali,
Mhm.
at some point, Gambia was playing like Senegal played against Cameroon in the first half of the game.
Yep.
Just that they didn't score. But the
All
good
right.
thing is
Let's
that
fast.
Cameroon left the first half without conceding.
Yes.
That's how they got into the game. And
All
then
right.
and some probably gave them some good pep talk at halftime, which brought them some momentum and confidence, which they lost the confidence again after 20 minutes. Even after scoring, they lost that confidence. They were letting Gambia play the ball again. And
All
then
right.
they had to wait for extra time to win.
Extra time to make it happen. So let's fast forward. Fast forward to Ekambi scoring his goal. Um, he almost missed it because he headed straight at the keeper, who unfortunately moved.
Man, the pace of that ball, man, he didn't, the pace. It was a very pacey cross from Kudu. Saying he almost missed it. If he had to, all he had to do was just do a quick turn. If he had to actually turn himself totally, he would have maybe gone over the bar or gone to the second post. So what he did was the best thing. And if you notice, he did it straight, but the keeper was already going towards, because normally those pacey crosses, a right footer crossing the ball from the left flank. Most people who approach the ball, attackers who approach the ball, the turn is which goes to the second post. So that's why the keeper was going to the second post. But it can be with the pace. If it can be had to do that, to do that, two things: either it goes out over the bar or goes out to the second pole. So the thing he did by not turning his head completely was the best option. So it
All
wasn't
right.
an easy ball.
So let me get through the iron in on the action. I know you're itching to talk about this. I know you're itching. Talk to me. Ekambi scores. Cameroon starts knocking the ball around a little bit. You could see like two, three good 4 or 5 passes happening. For the first time in the game, really, or first time in this tournament, I saw us make 4 or 5 passes consecutively. Right. After we went up on the score. And what, 74th, 75th minute, the goal comes from Gambia, Jalo, one of the wingers. What were you thinking at that point? You're muted
You're
again.
mute. Tru3lion, you're
You're
muted. Yeah, you're muted.
not sure what's happening. Nope, still can't hear you.
Yeah, you're good now.
Ye-
No, we cannot
I
hear
still
you.
can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Can't hear you at all. Okay, let's move on. Just try to adjust your audio and then chime in anytime. Steve-O, Ajab, what were you thinking?
Um, yeah, like you said, the first time in the competition, or the first time in a very long time, Cameroon has been able to make 3, 4 passes. Well,
Without,
beauty, go ahead.
you know.
Yeah, I think what happened is that Gambia was reading the way Cameroon was like playing, and at some point their tactics changed
Mhm.
because they were not looking to concede also in the first half. They didn't want to concede first, as opposed to the other games where you saw Gambia came in and they were not creative enough.
Mhm.
But in the second half, we saw actually when Cameroon scored, they started pressuring Cameroon. Then they had that goal, and that goal actually, I think Cameroon is not disciplined enough. You saw defenders, everybody in the box, at least on somebody. Then you see a Toko Ekambi who is falling behind, and he decides not to defend the unmarked guy. That's Barrow, who actually not Barrow, or the guy who scored. You know, that's a part of the game that Rigobert Song needs to work on, because as a defensive coach, yes, because he was a defender, the defense is conceding so many cheap goals, and when you concede such type of such goals, then it makes you now try to fight harder in order to make the difference. I think all the goals that Gambia scored, even the goals that Senegal scored, even the goal that Guinea scored, we have a defensive issue.
Yeah.
And in
I
order
mean,
going into the knockout stage, we cannot
okay.
continue like that. It has to be
Yeah,
fixed.
that's a good point Tru3lion is
Very
making.
good
For someone who was a defender, who was a very good defender, who was very good at marking, because Song's point for as a defender during his football career was marking, staying on an attacker. That's how he was good at. So having you as a coach, that should be, maybe Cameroon should be a team that builds up from the back. That you should say, okay, don't allow Cameroon score you one, because Cameroon scores you a goal, it's done. They're gonna defend well. But that's not the case with Cameroon. So that's something he should also focus on. He was a good defender. It should be easy for him to transmit that information, to transmit that experience, or that mentality to his defenders. I know Castellato and Wu are more of ball playing defenders, but there's a way you can bring in things. Look, you can bring in some of those things into them, change them a little bit. Like I said, Wu. Without the ball, he has a problem. With the ball, he's top notch. He has
No,
to
but I
find
think
a way. He has to figure a way to play without the
yeah,
ball.
yeah,
So
but
talking
I
about
think I think
let me jump in. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. Finish your thought, True Line.
I
Finish
think
your
I
thought.
think I heard you criticize Wu about his positioning, which is true, but that is also because the holding midfielders are not actually also in place because Wu made two great interceptions during the first half that led actually to a counter attack, and that's one of the balls where Magri actually fired the ball, in the crowd instead of
Yeah,
playing with the two attacking the
yeah, yeah.
two.
I remember the ball. Yeah, I remember the
Yeah,
ball that
Yeah,
who stole from the left side of the pitch. I remember. Yeah,
exactly.
as
Exactly.
he was helping out.
It's
All
because
right,
he's actually looking to anticipate those midfield balls and cover up for the central defensive midfielders.
all right. This just in: Tom Senfield has resigned as
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Gambia's.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he
Gambian
resigned.
coach resigned. Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to point out was up until before this tournament, Gambia was like one of those revelation teams, right? Where in the last AFCON they did pretty well, and it was like a surprise to everybody. In this one, we were hoping that they would at least do better, but they go home without winning a game. And the only two goals they scored were against Cameroon. And I want to point out one thing:
No. Yeah, yeah,
Cameroon.
yeah. Sorry. Yes, the only two goals he scored against Cameroon. Yeah.
And Cameroon conceded 6 goals in this tournament and scored 5. And you
Mhm.
guys touched on the part where the coach of Cameroon now used to be a defender, a very good one at man marking. Let's elucidate or expand on that part a little bit. What do you think is happening here that a defender cannot coach his defenders to defend?
But
Well,
that's not gonna happen in this AFCON. Post AFCON, he's gonna start building up from that. You can't take 4 or 5 days. You can work a little bit on the positioning, and like True Lion said, work more on the how do you call it? Yeah, your positioning without without the ball. Like they normally say, the best way to defend is to attack. Or when you lose the ball, the striker who loses the ball or the winger who loses the ball, he's the defender at that time. If you start defending from your attack line, it gives less work to the wingers, to those who are far back. You understand? But to me, like I said, it's a little bit too late now for him to impose that. Let's wait for post AFCON. Cameroon wins the AFCON. Oh yeah, they don't win. Let's go back. Let's say Song stays there. For example, Song stays as the coach of Cameroon.
no,
He's gonna lose the World Cup qualifiers to start building up something. He needs to start building up, have a strategy because the way Cameroon plays right now is like um, uh, play with heart, play with heart. The guys are not playing with heart. If you play with heart, you win. And everyone now is saying Cameroon won today because they play with heart. I still don't
no.
believe in that talk.
I
That's
don't
because
All
they
think
won. If this match ended 2-2, you won't hear anyone say they played with heart. That's the
Ajab,
problem. So they have to forget about that playing with heart and actually have a system or it's like, okay, this is Cameroon's point for Cameroon is good at this. Those crosses is 50-50.
I think
Crosses.
you are too lenient. Some cannot fix this defense. You cannot fix this defense.
right.
I don't see why you guys are not calling a spade a spade. The problem is that nowadays a team doesn't only defend with defenders. A team defends with 10 people. You see when you play with the formation as 4-3-4-3, which Cameroon actually played today, and you see Rigobert Song, he's actually just is nonchalant on the bench, not scolding a guy like Toby Ekambi, who was not marking his player when Gambia equalized. That tells you everything that the coach is not able to discipline some of his players because that's actually lack of discipline. And when you're not able to do that, then also he brings in Kemen
I
again
think
to
that's something
throw.
I wanted to talk about. That's sorry, Two Lion.
So
Cameroon is 1-1. Cameroon Gambia is 1-1. Cameroon is the team that needs like from both when you see the way both teams were playing at 1-1, you see that Cameroon is the team that needs this to score. You take out your left wing back and you bring in a holding midfielder. I still didn't understand. Someone was going to say Cameroon ended up winning, but Kemen didn't play any role in the goals Cameroon scored after that. So I still don't understand some of the changes he made.
wasn't
The
it
problem is
Clement who
that
was pressuring and the guy scored on his
I don't,
goal?
yeah, sorry,
Wasn't it Kemen who was involved in that cross that happened when before the cross actually, and then the
which
what is it?
cross?
Gomez scored in his goal.
No, no,
That
no. Angisa gave the pass to Chato.
okay.
But yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
even if Kemen was involved, he didn't do anything special that no one in that position couldn't do at that time. My problem is some of the changes he made. I wasn't really that. I'm sorry that you're saying I'm lenient, but I don't know. Maybe he's gonna change with time. You know, I don't
No, you're
know.
talking about the Gomez song changing.
All right,
Defending has changed. He defended
No,
back in the case. He
all
was
right.
keeping the ball.
Let's not make this
yeah,
about Rico song right
no, no,
now.
no. Yeah, so no. Rigobert Song has he's qualified. Cameroon was qualified to the phase for the knockout phase, and this is it now. People are
Yeah,
saying Song is a good coach, right? I'm not going to say that. My point is this. I know too long will say, why am I thinking? Why am I talking about what people think? Cameroon played against Mali. They were poor. They said the players were not playing with their heart. They
mhm.
lost against Senegal. People say they were not playing it with their heart. The players stop blaming Song. Song is not the one playing. Cameroon won the game against Gambia. They said Song's tactics were well. They not talk about the players now playing with their heart. They focus now on Song. When they lose, it's the players. When they win, football is about coaching. No team will kick out the 22 players because they didn't play with their heart and keep the coach then underperforming. If you coach cannot have those players play with their heart, then there's something you're missing. There's something you're missing. I wanted to bring out the thing. He said, Tru3lion said he didn't score at the Cambi. When Senegal was playing Gambia day one, Senegal were two was Senegal were they were 2 goals up against Gambia.
I saw that.
Koulibaly
Yeah.
Koulibaly gave the wrong pass.
Hmm.
Cisse almost kicked him out.
Yep.
Cisse was oh my God. Cisse was
Commentator on
yelling
Sky
at him. Cisse
was
yelled at him like Gambia was leading 1-0. It was
yeah.
2-0.
But
He yelled at Koulibaly. It's like no, there's no chance here for no chance, no room for errors.
guys,
Especially errors that are avoidable. No room for errors. You understand?
because
So
this
sometimes
one.
when a player miss a ball and you just wake up and do this. No, don't do that. Even during one time during the cooling break, I noticed it was the assistant that was doing all the talking. And someone
Okay.
was just there doing the clapping. Even one of the commentators, one of the analysts, they made a comment that how come why is Song not giving encouraging? Why is not encouraging the players? The cooling guy was there doing all the talks, and then Song was just there clapping. I was
But
like,
that's
okay, what's going on?
Maybe
all right.
you guys don't believe me when I tell you Song is not the one doing tactics. You guys don't believe me. Even when Song will come here and say that he doesn't know anything about tactics, you guys will still not believe. I've said this before.
All right. I appreciate your comments, guys. I really like that. We've really talked about this for a while. We've explored this at length on this on this show. And yes, we can all agree Song is not the best at this business, but he has succeeded in getting Cameroon qualified for the second round of a tournament the very first time.
Can
So
I
I mean,
interject? The very first time? What are you talking
yeah,
about, bro?
yeah.
No, no, no. He means song. He means song
This is
very
Song
first
Ghana.
time.
This is
I
the
mean, what
first
type of
time.
record? Like,
This is the
excuse
first
me.
time
Let me ask
Song
you a
has
question,
qualified the team. We have to at least
bro.
acknowledge
No, no,
that.
no, no, no. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? Because you're not just gonna make cheap words and try to pass it through. Let me ask you a question.
Go
Before
for it.
before the tournament started, what were our predictions for this group? We all said Cameroon is going to qualify. It's the way you qualify. It's not convincing. It's not convincing at all because even me, I'll qualify this team. I'm not a coach, but I'll qualify this team. It's not convincing at all. What are you talking about? Who did we play? Gambia is a 100 and what's their ranking in FIFA? Guinea is 80th. We
Yeah.
played a 10-man Guinea. Gambia is ranked about 115. What are you
No,
talking
the problem is that Tru3lion, when you say all this, the response is going to be like small team no day, small team no day. I'm
No,
not a fan of that talk small team no day. Small team day. There's a
no, it's
small
not
there are
about that.
small teams.
Listen.
Gambia is currently ranked 126 as
Exactly. Okay, listen. Let me actually tell you guys. The reason we say small team no day is because Cape Verde came out and played convincingly. It's because Equatorial Guinea came out and played convincingly. It's
convincingly.
because Angola came out.
Angola
Did,
has done the
did
same
Gambia
thing.
impress you? Did Gambia impress you?
No, Angola is not a small team. Angola is
No,
a
no,
team
no,
that has participated in the World Cup
no,
at least. You
no.
know?
But still, Angola has not been there for over a decade.
Okay, that's true. That's
I'm
true.
asking
Yeah.
you a question. Did Gambia impress you?
No, they did not. They did
They
not.
did not.
How can
Yeah,
a team of
that's the problem. And then we needed extra time to defeat Gambia, and then all the celebrations in the dressing room
I think
downtown. It's like Cameroon just made it to the finals or the qualifiers for the finals. I know if you say that, people are gonna say you're a hater, blah blah blah. But trust
but
me, I know. Yeah,
I
in the
I
moment,
think
but
I think
Cameroon
what
just.
matters here is we have to remember that Cameroon won the game. Okay, let's
Yeah,
just
but that's what I said. I said Cameroon
yeah.
won the game. He changed his formation. He changed the tactics,
He
and they
tried
came out with
something
a
new.
victory.
Exactly.
Yes,
He tried something
nothing.
different, and that's what
The
we've been talking about,
But the
right?
problem is Cameroon has been scoring this. It's not like anything changed from the game today. Set pieces, cross the ball. Someone is there. They might hit the ball. Cross the ball. Yeah, cross the ball. That's the problem. They should look for a plan B. If you play a team that doubles, that will do the double up. Now you don't have the chance to cross. They will rather you throw the ball long. They won't even let you get a corner kick. I'm going to see how you're going to score those goals. So we have to prevent that from happening. The good thing now is that Cameroon is playing Nigeria on Saturday. It's going to be a clash of underperforming teams because Nigeria too is an underperforming team so far. So it's
Yep.
going to be a clash between two teams that are underperforming. Cameroon made it to the group to the knockout phase, scoring 5 goals and ending with 4 points. And Nigeria had 7 points, scored only 3 goals, one penalty, one on goal, and one half meter header from Victor Osimhen. So they are underperforming as well. Even though we said Nigeria put on a masterclass against Ivory Coast, but when you watch I watched Ivory Coast play against Equatorial Guinea, I was asking myself, was it a masterclass that Nigeria put against Ivory Coast?
yeah, I
But
do.
some days you have to play the way because they've been
Yeah,
trying to play the offensive game. It's not worked. They say let's go sit back and try on the counter. It's going to be a
but
clash
I have
between two underperforming teams.
okay.
Let's
I
see
have
which team is going to perform
you
well.
cannot
Let's not preview the
I have
game yet. Let's
you,
let's let's
you cannot
yes.
put Nigeria and Cameroon in the same place because Nigeria has conceded only one goal.
Yeah,
But they
yeah,
don't score, man.
they,
They don't
they,
score.
But
they don't
they don't
score for
concede
all the
either.
attacking prowess, for all the attacking mind that
Yeah,
they have,
because
all
Nigeria
the
is known.
have
In
They
Africa,
don't
in
concede
Africa,
either.
in Africa, Nigeria has the most attacking. They
I
have the
have
most top attacking players on paper. If you end up scoring
Boniface
three
is
goals,
out.
one goal is from an attacker, one is an on goal, one is a penalty kick. Then it means you have a problem attacking. So
Boniface is
that's why I
out.
say they're underperforming.
Boniface is out. How can
Yeah,
you
yeah,
put
yeah, yeah.
Boniface is
But
out, but
still,
they still have.
they have a
yeah,
good team
I have
still.
let me use your logic, right?
Mhm.
How can you say a team that has conceded only one goal and a team that won two games and drew one? How can you say that they are underperforming? I understand that you're excited.
Yes,
You think,
okay. Let me
how
explain to
can
you
you say
why I
that
think Nigeria is underperforming. The reason I think Nigeria is underperforming is because Nigeria is known for winning 4-3, 5-3, 4-2. Nigeria is not a team. Like I said, on paper, they have the best up front. They've been lacking up front for a while. They're not scoring goals. They come
because
to
the
the
tournament
AFCON. Wait, they come to
because
the
the tournament is
AFCON.
tough.
Wait.
Let me
Let's
talk.
go
They
to
come to
Ajab.
the AFCON. They come to the AFCON still as favorites. They have
Oh, you
Osimhen
had them
score.
as favorites, right?
Eh?
I don't have Nigeria as favorites. You had them as
No, no,
No, no,
no,
no.
no.
favorites.
I'm not
Okay,
talking
let me
about.
just
I'm not
say
talking
this.
about me and
So
you. If you look at every,
before the tournament, Nigeria was 10-1
no,
to
no,
win
no,
the
no, no,
10 to
Nigeria. No, no, no. Let's forget
no,
about what.
they were
Let's forget
favorites.
about what we think. Honestly, let's be objective. Nigeria came to this AFCON in spite of their performance against Lesotho and Zimbabwe. Nigeria still came to the tournament as favorite, as one of the favorites. Let me not say favorite
Okay,
like
how
winning.
many?
If you
What was the
if you
ranking of
if
the
you
favorites?
rank if you rank 5 teams to win the AFCON, Nigeria was among the 5.
Okay, but
No,
five.
let me just point it out,
Yeah.
guys. On the
When we're
12th of
talking about
yeah,
5, we're talking
AFCON,
about Morocco, we're talking about
guys,
Senegal, we're talking about maybe Nigeria the third.
guys, a supercomputer did an analysis on the 12th of January. That's 2 days before the tournament started. And they said Nigeria had an 89% chance of winning the 34th edition of the AFCON. So Nigeria had 89% chance of winning this cup after all the calculations were done. Okay.
So who was better than Nigeria?
By a supercomputer. That's prediction. And then Opta analyst predicted that Nigeria would win by 8%. I think so. This is the prediction from Opta. Opta had Senegal, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Nigeria, then Cameroon as
Yes.
possible winners.
Okay, so see why
So,
Nigeria was.
no, wait. But the supercomputer said Nigeria. Opta said
Wait,
Senegal.
no, wait, I'm
So
telling
the
you, Tru3lion.
supercomputer.
No,
Okay,
Tru3lion.
everybody.
I got
I
you.
mean, naturally, when you have a team with Victor Boniface as a striker, Victor Osimhen as a striker, the Lookman, you have all these guys. You're
Why are
gonna
we,
automatically think they
why
are
are we even
favorites to win.
debating on this?
No. What I'm saying is that
Top five favorites for the competition. Nigeria was amongst top five,
I
and
agree,
if any
bro.
team falls among the top five of a tournament that 32 teams are participating, 24 teams are
No, but
participating.
bro. But look at Nigeria has 7 points. How many teams have 7 points?
No,
No,
wait,
but
that's why,
I
you know
mean,
why
it
I said they're
depends on how they get
underperforming.
the seven
You know
points
why I
to
said they're
Lion. Hold on,
underperforming.
guys,
Two Lion.
guys, we're
You are
losing the
now
script.
analyzing this thing like the computer.
Yeah,
Look at how Nigeria,
we can't do that.
how Nigeria scored 3 goals in the competition, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to mention something that we may argue a little bit. The penalty they scored against Ivory Coast wasn't like Ivory Coast prevented Osimhen from scoring. It's just that there was a contact. They scored a penalty. They had an own goal against Guinea-Bissau, one of the worst performing teams this year in the AFCON.
So let me ask
An
you a
own
question.
goal. And
Own
then,
goal is not a
okay.
goal. Is own goal? Is it not a goal?
When I'm
Oh,
I'm
Lion, hold on.
still
Let him make
talking. I'm
let him
still
make his
talking.
point, and
And
then
then against
we'll
Equatorial
handle
Guinea,
that.
yes, that was one of them, probably maybe because they had scoring chances that they missed. So that's why I said Nigeria is going to be a clash between two underperforming teams. Nigeria has underperformed, in spite of the
No,
fact
All
that
right,
they
no,
finished
no,
all
no.
seven
right.
points
Let's move
with
on,
three
guys.
goals.
Let's move on.
I'm a Nigeria fan. I watch Nigeria
Let's go.
every day.
Let's move on.
I watch
And
their
that's why
qualifiers. I watch all the games. I
All
follow
right,
up the
all right,
players. Trust me,
guys,
Nigeria is
Ayab,
guys,
underperforming.
Ayab,
guys. Let's move on.
that's
Let's
why
move
you
on
say
from this
Nigeria is
topic.
underperforming because you're a fan. You're a fan
No,
of
No,
the
no,
team.
no.
That's why you say they're
no,
Let's
underperforming.
move on,
not because I'm a
guys,
fan. Not
guys,
because, okay, so you tell me,
guys.
you say Cameroon is underperforming because you're a fan, you're a Cameroon fan. No.
No, no,
Look
guys,
at the way
guys.
Nigeria is playing. Nigeria hasn't created, Nigeria against Guinea-Bissau. Against Guinea-Bissau, how many chances did Nigeria create? Against Ivory Coast, how many chances did Nigeria create?
They
Nigeria is
decided
not
to
playing
go
like a team
straight
that
in.
wants to win the AFCON. That's why I say let's wait and see how they perform against Cameroon. If you watch Nigeria's first 3 games, they're not a favorite anymore. Trust me, even though they ended with 7
Me, I
points.
didn't have them as
All
favorite.
right,
I didn't have
please,
them as
guys.
favorite.
I need us to move on from this topic. I need us to move on from this topic, please. Let's redirect our attention. Nigeria is they have 230 something million people, or is it 260 something million people in Nigeria? They have a ton of streams that they will explore their chances on. Let's talk about Cameroon. Let's talk about Cameroon. That's what my
Okay.
interest is.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I mean, I know we can argue about Nigeria and how we assess their performances, but till tomorrow, right? We will not get anywhere because everything is subjective at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some people will believe in, oh, what was the end result of the game? Some people will say how many points did they end up with? Some people will say what was the XG, what was momentum, what was field tilt. So all those things come into play. So let's not get it down that that rabbit hole. Let's focus on Cameroon and its realistic chances of beating Nigeria. We know that Cameroon is going to be facing Nigeria in Saturday. Sorry,
On
in a
Saturday, yeah, first game on Saturday, I think. Yeah.
4 days, 5 days. I can't count anymore. But yeah, so that would be. We will have a show to preview that game for sure. But I just wanted to say, like when today's game ended. Well, actually, let me go back. When today's game ended, what were you guys feeling like? Let's go back actually to the 87th minute when these guys scored that second goal and we were down 2-1. For all intents and purposes, Cameroon was out at that point. Even
Yeah.
third place was not going to salvage us.
Yeah.
And then Senegal goes and scores. And then Cameroon scores. So at this point, Senegal is up 2-0 v Mali, and Cameroon is 2-2 with Gambia. And I'm thinking, okay, something might just happen because that was an own goal. Something might just happen. And then the goal comes. Now Cameroon is back in second place. What were your feelings at that point? Because I noticed at that point, that's when the defender Makuji was brought into the game. And
No,
I
no,
was
no.
asking
No, no,
myself,
no.
Amokodu was brought
Mokudu
when
brought
they were
after the
up
third goal.
3-2.
after the
After the
third
third
goal.
goal. After
That's
the
what I'm
third
saying.
goal, yeah.
After Cameroon scored,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm asking myself, like, why would the coach wait until this point to make that
No, no,
change
no.
when he could
No,
have
no, no,
made
no,
the
no, no.
change
That was
earlier?
he took out the winger and brought in a centre back because he wanted to take care of all the long set pieces. He brought in a big guy who was good in the air. So he wanted to play safe. So that was the best change to make at that point. Cameroon was leading 3-2, maybe like 5 or 6 minutes to the end of the game. You don't want anything, you don't want to try to score number four. You just don't go try to score and then a counter takes you back to 3-3. So you play safe. You take out a winger who had done everything, tried his best, crossed like 10,000 balls. He was almost tired. And then you bring in a big guy who's good in the air to take care of the airborne duels. That was it. So it was a safe stop. That was a safe stop. I don't blame Son for
I'm
that.
glad
That
you
was a safe
answered
stop.
that. I'm
Yeah.
glad you answered that way. Tru3lion, what's your thought? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think Rigobert Song could have made a change way back when we were leading. Was it 1-0? When
One
we were
zero.
leading 1-0? Yeah, when we were leading 1-0. But he did not, because I already like saw some tired legs, and the game was actually very, very disorganized. No patterns. Gambia was pushing forward. I think Cameroon was very much lacking. They had lost their rhythm. That's what it was. They had actually lost their rhythm, and then Rigobert's song did not react in the right moment. However, then when he got that lead when it was 3-2, the moment you are saying, it was just right for him to bring one more defender, because Cameroon actually needed that, and that disallowed goal was rightfully disallowed.
Mhm.
Right? You
Yes.
saw again. I keep saying this. There were three Gambians in one place. I don't know how that happens. So it was poor
It,
defending, because had that guy actually made contact with his head,
it would have been,
Ondua was
yeah.
nowhere to be found. He was scrambling. He came
Yep.
out. He was in no man's land and all that. He was scrambling. So that's why I say this team. Yes, we won because we're playing Gambia 126, as you said, but the team was just poor.
Yeah. No.
We only had
Cameroon
a
won.
fighting spirit.
Thank you. Thank you, Tru3lion. All the things you say Cameroon won because of they play with their heart, they brought in the Hemlek. Cameroon won because they played Gambia. Yeah. That's it. Cameroon won because it's
Yep,
Gambia.
it's
Yeah.
Gambia.
Yeah.
Any other
You
team would have
understand? Don't
punished Cameroon.
yeah.
Any other team
Playing
would have punished
they
Cameroon.
are not big, but Cameroon. No, it could end up a tie or something. But Cameroon won today because they were playing Gambia. Yeah, they were playing another Cameroon 2.0. Yeah, trust me.
And
All
you
right.
Yeah,
remember, you
So
remember, you
let's
remember,
sample some. Yes, go ahead, Tru3lion, before we
you
sample
remember Seinfeld in Cameroon. He complained a lot about refrain
the
and that
phrase.
favoritism. So this game, when I was watching the game, I was like, oh man, they want their revenge so bad. They really wanted to beat Cameroon, or to deny Cameroon to go through. So they
The
wanted
chance.
it so bad, but
Yeah.
because they're not experienced and because they got too excited, they let Cameroon back
yeah.
in.
They got too excited after the second goal, and if any, that's why I said it's because Cameroon played Gambia. They were so excited after the second goal. They scored the second goal, and anyone who came after the second goal thought Gambia
Yeah,
was leading
because
2-0. They were
see
Yep.
what's happening,
so
right? See what's
Started passing
happening.
the ball
See,
around. Like,
Nico, see what's happening, right?
yeah.
Even Cameroon does that. You
Yeah.
score, it's remaining 7 minutes. The game is not even finished, but everyone is running, spending
Running
energy.
around.
Energy
Thank
you
you.
don't have.
Thank you.
Energy you don't have. I
Even
don't know
Chris
why the
Wu,
team
Chris
keeps
Wu
losing.
scored and he ran the entire length of the field. I'm
Exactly.
like, there's still a whole 9 minutes to play. Like the injury
yeah.
time thing said
So
9 minutes.
lucky enough, lucky enough, we have this VAR in the AFCON. The ref wouldn't have that goal would have been validated. Lucky enough, the VAR was there.
Let's sample some opinions here. Let's look at the comments. Guys, thank you so much for being on and for your comments. That's kind of what we're here for. We like to see your comments also. We like to hear them and kind of sample and talk about them. I'm going to talk about Algeria losing to Mauritania by Paul Ngong Drakom. I think we explored that already. I'm the happiest man because of that result. I didn't want Algeria to go anywhere at all because of their coach.
Is there any Cameroonian who is not happy with Algeria's result? Is there any Cameroonian who is not happy?
Just
I
go,
think
just go on social media tomorrow, then you realize how
everybody.
happy Cameroonians
Yep,
are.
That's
and
what
I
I'm
have
saying. I
kind of
said,
few
is
of the
there
posts.
any Cameroonian who is not happy
And
with
you
the
guys
result?
remember the journalist who got slapped in Qatar by Eto'o. So I'm gonna go look for him and tag him on some of the tweets that
And
are
there's
going.
another Algerian blogger who spends his time on Cameroon. I forgot his name. There's one blogger,
Oh yeah,
Algerian.
yeah. He's always, yeah. He's more like, he's level-headed. He talks both ways. He gives a Najib something.
Okay, I'll go look for that one too because I like poking the bear on
I
this.
think he works
All
with
right, next
TFL. He
one.
works with the
Our
same.
friend JC. Our friend JC says again he doesn't understand the criteria CAF is using to pair up teams for the knockout stages. Both Cameroon and Nigeria finished second in their groups. How come they are facing each other?
Yeah, it's the way it is because we now have three teams. Normally, in order
Four
to
teams.
prevent that from happening, CAF needs to make the AFCON to have 32 teams so that you
Yeah,
just have two teams qualify from each group and the first place, the second. But now that you have a third place team,
Team.
best four
Yeah.
third place teams, you have the second from each group meeting, and then the best four teams that finish first place are going
they
to
have
meet those four groups. So
Yeah.
Senegal now finishing first is going to meet one of those third teams. So that's the
13.
advantage of finishing first. So that's why CAF has done it that way. If you
And you have
want,
to
if CAF,
guarantee that
yeah, and the Africa and the way
don't
it
play
is,
each
they
other
cannot
in
make,
the second round.
yeah, the way it is, they cannot make the AFCON to have 32 teams. If
No,
they make
no.
it to have 32 teams, every team is going to qualify.
And it's gonna be a month-long tournament.
No,
It's
yeah, but the way, yeah, that's another thing. If they make it 32 teams like the World Cup and all that, it's gonna be more than a month,
yeah,
or
you
maybe a
need more.
month. And
Many
it's
African
gonna
countries
and
do
it's
not have that many
Teams
teams.
that's
cannot
when
host. The teams
African
cannot host
teams, that's when
32.
you're going to see those teams in Europe are going to start preventing their
No,
players from going to the AFCON when it
the
gets to a
countries
month
cannot
long
host
and that.
32 teams anyway. The countries
Eh?
cannot host 32 teams. The
Yeah,
countries
that's it
cannot
too.
host 32
Yeah,
teams.
countries
Yeah, the
cannot.
Maghreb,
Very few countries can host.
The Maghreb countries could host it. That's it. If
South,
it's going to be
South Africa
32
and
teams.
Nigeria can, but others cannot. I'm not sure that others can. We don't have the facilities. But that's a good thing. I mean, it's still good. It's not a bad thing that it's happening, but that's why you come in and try to be first in your group, right? All right, next thing, JC again, looking at the quality of Nigeria, I think they have underperformed. However, I don't see Cameroon beating them. No chance. If you ask me, Nigeria will prevail. Okay, I don't know. It's just like saying Man U will beat Man City all the time. That doesn't always happen. Um, uh, let's see. Am I the only one seeing this? The main problem of Cameroon is a holding midfielder. I think you're not the
No,
only one,
No,
JC.
no.
no,
We all
we
see
said
it.
that for the longest time. You
We
have
talked
three,
about it
yeah.
for a while.
Cameroon has three players which are the same qualities, the same position. Yeah, it's okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
The problem,
About
yeah.
Studio said he's agreeing with Clement. Totally agree with you. Mubanya's pace is very explosive. So let's see. Where's Clement's comment? Okay, there you go. The momentum, the momentum with which Mubanya came in, I would play him over Magri. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Me,
I
I'll
think
play Mubanya over Meg any day.
Okay.
I think we have 3 days to Saturday, right? It will be
Yes.
fair if Mumanya also gets a
Yes,
chance.
that.
Yeah.
If I have the chance, Mubanya will be my now that Abubakar is injured, Mubanya will be my starting striker over Magri. Magri
Okay.
has played 3 games. He's lacking somewhere. So
Yeah.
now is the time for Mubanya to also give him the chance. Because let me tell you something. Football is all about, besides the technical ability or how good you are, your mental strength is also important. If you're the player
Yeah.
that you always get into the game in the second half, right?
It affects you.
At the
It
back
affects
of your mind, you're like, these people don't think I am that good. So why should I come in and prove my best when I know that
I
next
think
game I'm going to
I
come off
think
the bench?
I think it's just because Magri is better with the head and Cameroon is
yeah,
always crossing
crossing
balls.
the
So,
balls.
Do you even think Maggi is better with the head? Do you think
oh
so?
yeah, I saw,
Yeah, he
bro.
has
I
more
saw him
goals with it.
play.
He has
I
more
saw
headed
him
goals.
score how many goals already with
Yeah, he
Future.
has more headed goals than anybody than
Yeah, the problem is because he's playing more than Mubanya. Give Mubanya the chance to play those games and see if
No,
he's going to be able
the
to
game
perform.
Mubanya started and he came
Which
in, he
game?
scored with the head, right? Yes, the
Which
game
game? The
in
Mauritius
Cameroon.
Island. That's just
Yeah, in
one game, the
Cameroon.
Mauritius Island game, right?
In
yeah,
Cameroon.
but guys, I mean, yes, but still, we have to agree that the
Oh,
numbers
okay,
are
but you have a point.
just
Maybe
more
as
ahead.
Cameroon is good in crosses, then
Yeah.
let Wu play as a center forward next game since they're good
Hey,
up they're good with the head.
Ensua for Equatorial Guinea is a defender, and he's highest goal scorer right now in the
No, but
tournament.
you know what
Okay,
happened? That's a good thing about Nsue. Nsue actually plays as a right back or as a winger.
winger.
Actually, when Spain won the Euros on the 20 in 2011 when they had all the Thiagos and the De Gea. Insue was actually one of the players. He won the Euro with Spain on the 20. And then when he noticed that the Spain national team was loaded with qualities, he said, I'll go back to where I belong. And the rest is history. Now he's playing as a winger for a 30-year Spain team and he's topping and he's now the top scorer. Who is the next to him? Because the Algerian guy had 3. Now he's left. Insue has 5. Hopefully he scores against, and then he's going to win It's going to be on. It's going to be a history maker. That someone who is a right back is the top scorer as a striker in
Striker.
the AFCON, the biggest tournament in the continent.
All right, let's talk about Julius Cho. We say Magri is not bad, but I would start Faris Mubanya, of course.
No, it's not bad. Magri is not bad.
Yeah. All right, next one. Let's see. Who else is there? I think this is with reference to Wu, Christopher Wu. True Ajab, he has a good future though. Bebe Detas said Wu has songs vibes. That's true. He
Oh
reminds
man,
me of a very
please,
young song.
please.
No,
Mm.
he reminds me of a young song in
Uh,
defense.
Ah,
uh, uh,
Yeah,
uh, uh, uh,
he's
uh,
right.
uh, uh,
Come on,
uh, uh, uh. Mm. Song, young song. No, 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 no.
yeah.
Young song has young songs vibe. No one has young songs vibe.
The Kid Babanga, that's the guy. All right. Agree. Ajab, Chato, and Youngwa didn't have the best games. That's from Cap Team K. Ben Dopping, there's quite a lot from you here. Let's just go through a few. Can't believe my eyes watching Zambo. Zambo is terrible. Yeah, we mostly agree. I actually wanted him sat out in this game, to be honest. I did. Uh,
I thought Zambo played his best game today. But let's go
yeah,
ahead. Continue.
he did very well today. He did,
Go,
but
go,
I
go.
really
Go ahead. Let's do from Ben. Ben always
um
has Ben always has a lot to Ben always has a lot to say. Go ahead.
and they need to figure out their pace. I think we play very slow. I think he means pace there. Clement
Yeah.
Awomukola. Okay, Bebe Deta says Ajab, you be true number 10. Ben Dopping again. Long balls are cake. And he says I can't even struggle to see what the play is. Looks like we play boom boom, expecting goals to come from half chances. That's very true.
I've been
We
saying that for a while. People say I'm just criticizing. And the problem is this: when you criticize song, people think you're criticizing a too because a too appointed song. That's the
absolutely
problem. And if you notice, each time you try to talk about song, you criticize him. Like I said, every day I come here to talk, I talk about that game. I'm not talking about song's future. I criticize song's tactics or performance in that game. I don't talk
what
about
I
the next game.
what
Then
I
when you say
agree.
that, some people come and say, hey, you don't have a coach for Usa. Hey, that's not my problem. I don't need to be a chef to know that this food doesn't taste good. I don't need to
it's
be a
good.
chef. I don't
All
need
you
to
need
be
to
a
tell
chef.
them,
You
all you need to
understand?
tell them is that Rigobert Song is a coach. He's there to coach, and you are there to criticize his work. That's all. I mean, you're a critique. You critique
Yeah,
number
no,
one.
if they don't want
Going
me
to
to look
continue.
at song and criticize, don't air the match. Don't air the match on live
All right,
TV. Don't air the match on live TV. I will not be able to talk about the game. So, like I said, I'm not supposed to be a chef to know if this food tastes good or bad.
it's good or
You
bad. All right,
understand?
let's move
So
on.
I'm looking at it. Coaching is another thing. If someone, yeah,
Let's move on. Let's move on. Barney Biga says Kudu is a terrible winger in my view. Yes, assist, but overall terrible player. We need creativity, more creativity in the wing, in a winger, and he just doesn't have it.
yeah.
I
His what Barry Bigger said is true. Kudu is like I said. If you play a team that doubles up, Kudu will
he's
play
not.
an entire match without a cross. Because
That's
Kudu
right.
has one thing. He takes the ball, he's playing on the left wing. He takes the ball to his right leg and he crosses. He
I
takes the ball
think.
to his
I
right
think.
leg. If he cannot cross, he gives a
I
pass.
think.
If you play with a
Can
team
you
that doubles
argue
up,
that he's
he's
doing
not
what
going
the
to
coach
cross.
has asked him to do?
I think we as fans, right? We are
Mhm.
sometimes too harsh with some of these players just because we want more from them, right? I don't
Mhm.
think Kudu is a bad player.
No,
He
no, no,
just
no, no.
makes
He's
sometimes
not bad,
he
but I
makes
think he's too predictable.
yeah
Okay.
he makes sometimes the wrong decisions just because he's getting most of the load, and people know that he's getting most of the load. So at most of the time, you see them like two players on him,
Keeping him. Yeah,
you know. But
guys.
again, notwithstanding, he has 3 assists.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what I see.
I mean, he's
That's what
doing.
I'm
I
seeing.
think,
That's
guys.
what that's what I see. No, that's how football is nowadays. Yeah, now he has 3 assists, right? Cameroon has scored 5 goals. Three came from him.
No,
So
no, no. But
everything that happened,
I
he's
think
had
that is
about.
the
He gets the more. He gets the most balls when Cameroon is playing. He's been able to give 3 successful crosses that ended up in goals. The corner kick, they go to a Kambi and they go to Magri. What else can we say? That's how football is.
I
Like
mean, can you make the point?
Normally says
Can you
that the
make
way
the
Let me,
point,
football is
let me
consumed.
respond. Let me respond.
guys? Can
Let
you
me
make the
respond.
point though that he's doing exactly what his coach asked of him?
Of course,
Yeah,
because
you can
that's the
make
way.
the point
Listen,
because that's what the
Nico,
coach wants him to
Nico,
do.
Nico. Let me
Yeah.
say something also, right?
Mhm.
when a team is playing poorly, I mean everybody's playing poorly, it's very difficult to see consistency even from the best players.
Yes.
Do you agree? We saw that with
I
Samuel
do.
Eto'o. I can call you Samuel Eto'o when he was playing with Cameroon. It was difficult to see consistency from Samuel Eto'o because the whole team was bad. However, now when the team elevates their game play, right?
Mhm.
Then now you start seeing the diamonds coming out from the dirt. So sometimes it's not because the player is bad, it's just because they're in a situation that they have never been before. So they're finding it difficult. They are trying to do too much in order to compensate for others. Because one, if we take out some of the load from Kudu, maybe he'll be able to settle down and play good football. Because this is a player
Yeah.
that has scored 14 goals and 4 assists coming into this league. So it's not as if he's trash. And when you see some of the crosses that he puts, their quality, but he's been overloaded for all the 3 games, and that has weighed on him. That's my opinion.
No, I still think that for all the wingers or let's say attacking minded players at Cameroon that they have or they've played so far in the AFCON, Kudu is still like the most threat, is the best to me. Even though he misses like five and then he performs well in three, but he's the only one that has the balls to even go. That's why all the load comes to him because he's the one that has the balls to ask for the balls. All the other winger goes and play the traditional thing they call 7 and 11 and all that. Kudu is the only one that comes and get the balls. But just that, like I said, he's too predictable. Kudu, he does one thing. Pop, cross. Pop. The sometimes you do that. The problem too is that the wing backs don't overlap. If you overlap, Kudu will have options. That's another thing too. They don't overlap because when you overlap, if you watch every team that the wing backs or the right back and left back, when they overlap, you the winger, you have two options. Either you bring the ball to the mid and play a 1-2, or you give it to the person that overlaps. But when you don't overlap, he as a winger, if it's not like someone that is skilled with the ball, he has one option. But to take it to his right leg or left leg and give a cross. So let's
Exactly.
also have those guys overlap a lot. If they overlap a lot, he's going to play. Problem is that I was surprised that I know Darlene Younger as someone who is very good offensive. But today, I don't know if it's that Gambia was too offensive. He spent most of his time defending than attacking.
Yeah,
So Cameroon basically even played like a 5-2-3 today, not a 3-4-3.
yeah,
Okay.
because okay, he just talked
Because the
about
wing backs were dropping. Yeah. Let's move on, guys. Let's finish these comments. Let's finish these comments. We have quite a few of them. I want to make sure that everybody's voice, at least we sample it, right? There was a question about other folks joining the stream. So I absolutely there's always an open invitation. If anybody wants to join us, let's talk. Hey, we're more than happy to sample your opinions and have these conversations. You see how vivacious it gets and intense and interesting, right? So we do want you to be on. There is another comment here. What about the Stoke City guy, Chamadu? Why don't we start him? That's another one. I have not seen him play too much, but yeah. JC, you have a comment here about my favorite team, Ghana. Unfortunately, or my favorite country, Ghana. All right.
Yes,
I
yes,
said
yes,
a few days ago
yes,
that there was
yes,
going to be a lot of managerial casualties at the
yeah.
end of the AFCON. Okay, yeah.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
I
The word
think
of the
he knew
Lord.
from the first day when they didn't win. He knew from the first day that he was gone.
He was
Uh,
attacked. He was attacked actually by a fan after
yeah,
the first
my
game
fans in
against.
the hotel.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you about the video. Yeah, someone sent me
Mhm.
the video where they attacked him in the hotel and they were trying to beat him up. Okay, Cameroon needs Baleba like tomorrow, and that's very.
man,
I
man,
think
but
he.
those guys are not convinced to come and play for some. Who wants to come and play for some?
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. Come on now. Come
But
on.
that's true.
Ito
What are
is
you
doing
talking
a lot of
about?
No,
work. Guys,
the problem
guys,
is this. The problem is this. I had a conversation with someone, and the person was telling me that these guys who were born in France, they don't play with their heart. I
No, he
said,
was not born in
no, no.
France.
No.
Baleba was born
Baleba is an exception. Sorry, I'm just going there.
here.
The
no, that's
Eketike, he said the Cham, Kudu, and Cham,
all
Kudu. I
those.
said, who was born in France? Cancelo was born in France. Those guys, are you saying those guys don't play with your heart? I said, if you
No,
look at the Senegalese national team, right? 6 of the starting 11 were born in France. If you go to
okay.
Morocco's national team, 7 of the starting 11 were born in France or the Netherlands or Belgium. So it's
Yeah,
not about heart. It's not about
yeah.
the heart, you know. If you
It's
want, but if you want, if, yeah, there are a lot of people that you think. Me, I still think that if
Nigeria's
Cameroon is
team is the
actually,
same way,
me, I think
right?
that if Nigeria is actually in the build, if Cameroon is actually in the rebuilding phase, People like the Ekitikes and the Balibas and what's the name? The other guy that plays in Frankfurt, what's his name? Ndimbe something.
Mhm.
If Eto is a good talker, he knows how to. He can talk to those guys. If he can succeed in
Ayab,
bringing them. No,
Ayab.
I
That's
know
why
you're going
he
to say that they don't want to come because of song. I'm
No,
talking
Ayab.
about Eto,
Eto
not
is not the
song.
coach. Eto is not the coach.
No, Eto
no,
is the
the
one
coach is
president
not
of the
the one who
Fecafoot. I mean,
does
I
the work.
testing
understand.
them. He can convince
Ayab, so
them.
who's coaching? Who's coaching?
That's not the point.
No,
Wait first.
There's
Wait
no
first. Let's talk about this. Well, the problem is this: if you can convince them, if you can, okay. Your problem is song. If I was a tour, I would tell them that I'm going come. I'll kick song out. Would they?
Ayab,
Would they
Ayab,
come?
Ayab. Have you not seen players go and play in a certain team because they look at the coach, they say that coach can teach me something, he can add add
No,
value.
you are talking about club football now. Let me tell you something.
No, even
That's
national
why I
team,
always That's
even
why I always
national team.
differentiate football. Most of those
No,
players that come back, 99% of those players that leave their country of birth to come back to the African teams is because they know this at some point in time that they won't be able to make it in their squads, like France and Netherlands and
yeah, but
Belgium.
no,
They
we're
come
talking
back.
about Baleba here. Baleba is Cameroonian. He was born
You
in
think
Cameroon.
Wait? You think Baleba will ever? You think France will at any point call Baleba?
No,
People
but
keep
I'm
saying
telling
that.
you, Baleba,
People keep.
but
I know. Yeah,
Ayab,
I will buy your
guys.
point that Baleba is waiting. But Baleba has been saying that he wants to settle at club side before he starts thinking about national team football. France will
yeah,
never
because
call Baleba. People are making some social media noise that he's waiting
Ayab,
for France
listen,
to call him. France
that's
doesn't
what I
even
said.
know that there's someone
Ayab,
called Baleba.
stay here.
guys,
You
guys,
worried
guys,
about people, what people
guys,
are saying. We are staying
guys.
here.
I
Mhm.
really want us to let's keep the stream going. Let's keep the stream going.
Mhm.
Let's finish these comments. There's a lot to say about these things, right? I mean, you can even make the let's not get sidetracked over things that really do
They're
not.
just about Africans, man.
Yeah, you're saying they're not Africans, but
Those
we
guys
just
were born
explored.
and raised in France, and France actually grew their talent.
All
So,
right, so let's move on then. Let's move on. There is a point to be made. Actually, hold on. Let's point out here. Abakwa Studio talked about the mathematics required for teams to qualify. It's just hilarious, which is true. That's what happens when you have to take four more teams from third position, right? Um,
You need a Casio calculator or a
that's
Texas
your
Instrument
calculator
calculator, right?
alongside everything. Yeah, I was actually getting ready to do I was actually getting ready, like I put an Excel together to try to figure out Cameroon's chances if they were to lose today or tie the game or whatever. And it was quite interesting. All right, minute by minute, with any news of Lions camp, we won't rest. I'm not sure what that's reference to, Ben.
he was talking about me.
Okay. True Lion, don't worry. Rigobert will outlive your emotions. Okay. Barney Bigas have joined. I'm not too sure what that's about. All right, I think we've explored most of these comments that we need to. Wingers. Okay, there's a question. There's a comment here by Gustav B. Ashu. Wingers don't help to defend. That creates a massive challenge for the midfield, and I think he's very correct. There are a couple of folks who are agreeing with him,
We
and I
have
think
Talk
traditional
he's very
wingers.
correct.
Sorry, who
about
made
Jamil.
that point? Who made that
Talk
point?
about Jamil.
Gustav
Okay,
Ashu.
Gustav is watching the game keenly. We have
Yeah.
traditional wingers that play the football we call 7 and 11, that they just go and they stick to the car. If you look someone like, it can be scored, no doubt, but each time it can be plays for the Lions. If you're that, I think maybe one of the reasons Song decided to switch to a back three with wing backs is because he wanted to start a Cambi. One of the reasons, even though Castellato is not good at crossing the ball, right?
Mhm.
One of the reasons Cameroon didn't perform well against Guinea is because you had a Cambi. You had Magri, who's also
Right.
a traditional striker, not helping, who's not a winger, not helping Castellato as a right back against Guinea. Today you have a Cambi. A Kambi will not do that. A Kambi he's more of he's like a scoring winger. He's good for a team that plays 4-3-3, where you have a diamond midfield. You have a center mid and you have another mid playing assisting him on the right flank in addition to the right back. That's how a Kambi can flourish. If you're expecting a Kambi to go back to help your right back when he plays as a right wing, or to go back to help the left back when he plays as a left wing. Good luck.
Yeah, but for Magri, no, I think Magri actually defended against Guinea. If you watch some of the clips, he actually went back to defend. However, even this Ekambi that you're talking about, the qualifiers for World Cup qualifiers, I think the game that we against Libya, he was going back to defend. He was going back to defend. The problem is that sometimes these guys get lazy, right? Because I cannot, they get lazy. But the coach, you have
Can
to
you
tell
really
them.
say?
Because
Can
the
you really
point is
say
that,
a football player is lazy? They do a
oh
lot
yeah,
of work
of course,
in the field, bro.
of course. Sometimes they get lazy. So it's the duty of the coach to call them to order. I have just talked about Cisse calling Koulibaly to order. So it's the duty of the coach call them to order, because you defend in football with 10 men. All 10 infield players should be behind the ball, especially when you're trying to preserve a lead.
No,
Mhm.
yeah, more football now. Even football, even the team that plays the most stylish or spectacular football,
There's something.
they still defend from their striker. That's when the defending starts from their striker. If you're a player that are very, if you're very skillful, but you can't defend, it's very difficult for a team now. Unless I'm sorry, unless you're Lionel Messi. That's the only player that a coach will allow not to.
All right.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Now every team, if you look at players, like I'm sorry, let me divert a little bit. Cole
Go.
Palmer, that plays for Chelsea. One of the
Mhm.
reasons Guardiola let him go is because he's not good in the defensive phase of the game. If it's skill wise, he's very skillful than the Doku and the rest. But Guardiola wants 11, 5, 10 players to defend, 10 players to attack. And that's an example. Right now, if you look even Senegal, I always use Senegal as an example now for this AFCON. When Cameroon was playing Senegal, when Senegal was playing Gambia, Diallo would drop right back to their own half to defend. Who is the striker? They defend as a block. They attack as a block. Watch Senegal when they score. If it's not a corner kick, or by the time they're scoring that goal or they're missing that scoring chance, Koulibaly, who is the last man, is around the center line.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that there's definitely something to take from there. We've seen that Senegal has really come to defend its title. I feel like they really are the team to beat this year. It would be an easy one for them to walk away with it again. I feel
He
uh,
won't or he will.
it will be. It will be.
He will
It,
be. He won't. He won't.
It
I
won't
think
be.
it will. I don't
No,
see anybody. I don't
no, no,
see
no,
anybody.
no, no, no. It won't. It won't. It won't be an easy one. How can you say that? With all what you've been seeing now, or let's wait. True, you may have a point.
I don't
Some
see
of these teams
anybody else.
overperform. Some of these
Yes,
teams overperform and then they go to the knockout phase and then they choke. But let's wait and see how the round of 16 goes. But I don't think it's going to
I
be a
don't
walk
think
in the park.
Senegal is
It's not going to
choking.
be a walk in the park for Senegal. They're going to
Yeah.
walk. They're going to walk to deserve it. It's not easy, man. With the way I see this AFCON going, one team is going to do what they say Shandai this AFCON. You're going to see something they call Shandai. Trust me.
I just get the feeling, guys. And I'm not, I'm not going to, dwell too much on it. I just get the feeling like there's who do you see in the next in the remaining teams beating Senegal? I don't see it.
Someone,
We talked
I
about
think,
that for a while.
I,
Yes, go
I
ahead.
think, yeah, I think someone's gonna step up. The way this Nations Cup is panning out, where you see lots of upsets and all that, it's telling you something. It's telling you
Yeah,
something that these teams
that's
are
what I'm
actually.
saying. That the way
The
the
second round
AFCON
doesn't
is,
have
is on,
upsets.
the way the games are unfolding, there must be an upset. Even if it's not Senegal,
The
but you're
second
gonna
round is
see.
almost
So
always
wait,
academic. The second round is almost always academic. Very few times have we seen people like get shocked by results in the second round. No? You guys think there's going to be a shocker? I don't
yeah,
think so.
but 2012 Zambia won. 2013 Nigeria beat Ivory Coast, which were the super favorites. Nigeria didn't win 1-0. Nigeria won 2-1. So you're going to have upsets. Nigeria had a good team, but Ivory Coast were the tournament favorites. And Nigeria scored. Ivory Coast equalized. Nigeria scored. It's not like they went to penalties or they had a 0-0. It's not like they had a 0-0 tie and went on penalties. AFCON, Cameroon 2017. Cameroon 2-1. Man, AFCON is different. That's something. World Cup is different. AFCON and Euros, you always have some teams that just come from nowhere and they give you that surprise package. It's going to happen in the AFCON this year again, even if they don't win. But the team is going to make it to the semis, which no one saw it coming. Maybe if Equatorial Guinea or Cape Verde makes it to the semis, people are going to say I saw it coming. But I'm talking pre-tournament, not as a tournament, pre-tournament. Let's say 12th of January. The tournament started on the 13th, right? Let's say 12th of January. No one saw Cape Verde or Ivory Coast topping the groups. I'm not
Well, I
topping the
mean,
group, topping the
you
group,
guys,
scoring
we
goals.
all talked about Cape Verde and what they can bring. It was
Yeah.
a it was a an iffy thing, right? We all talked about Cape Verde, but what I'm driving at is this idea of the yes, there will be surprises, but does Senegal look like a team that can be surprised in this tournament? I mean,
Don't
these
forget.
guys
Don't forget.
had no reason to play a strong team against Guinea, and they did, and they
Let me
did. They
ask you a
won
question.
handily.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If Senegal plays Morocco, you think it's gonna be an easy game?
Yeah, why not?
Oh
Easy
wow.
game for
I
Morocco
think
against
it will be.
Senegal.
I think
Man,
it will
come
be.
on, come on, try to be
I
serious.
think
Like
it
I
will
told
be.
you, let me tell you something.
Wait,
Morocco
you think
Senegal,
I'm not serious?
that's gonna be the best game. Morocco will want to play teams like Senegal because, like I mentioned at the very beginning when we had the first talk show here prior to the competition, that Morocco made it to the last four of the World Cup because they were very comfortable sitting behind against teams like Portugal, Spain, Belgium. They were
Teams that attack.
comfortable, and then
And
yeah, and if
Senegal
they
can do
play
the
team,
same
if they
thing.
play a team like Senegal, Senegal is going to go for them. They're going to be comfortable sitting at the back, and then
All
that's how Senegal is going. That's how they're going to punish. Morocco would cherish playing teams like Senegal as opposed to teams like Cape Verde. Trust me.
right. All
Yep.
right. So
Yeah,
that's it,
trust me.
guys. We have it. We have it. I think in the interest of our conversations and keeping them lively, we can call it a day. We've covered all the topics we really had. We've gone over the comments. If there's anything else anybody wants to share, feel free. Yes, I agree with Bedetas. Um, uh, any team can be surprised. And one here, Laka, Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, or Cape Verde can beat Senegal. Well, let's see. I'm not too sure
Yeah.
about that, but okay. One last one from JC. Ha 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 ha. As long as we are happy that Cameroon has qualified, there is another side of me that is not happy. The victory will sugarcoat the fact that Song has been and is a terrible coach. Period.
No.
Well, thank you so much for your comments, JC. Thank you guys so much for chiming in. It's been a lively one. Cameroon has made it through to the second round. What is the next phase or what is the next chapter in this story? Let's all wait and see. Cameroon faces Nigeria on Saturday. And as always, the football trio is going to be here. We will
And,
talk about it, we will
and
dissect it,
sorry,
and we'll try to predict. Yes, go ahead,
Nico.
Ajab.
The last time they met was 2019, same last group of 16.
Yes,
Nigeria beat Cameroon 3-2 to make it to the quarterfinals. So I think this time around, Cameroon is not going to let Nigeria do that. But let's see how it unfolds.
exactly.
I still
Let's
think
see how
Nigeria has what it takes. And this game against Cameroon, it's a make it or break it game for Nigeria. If Nigeria beats Cameroon, it's going to be a convincing win. If Cameroon, yeah, that's how I look at it. If Nigeria succeeds in beating Cameroon, it's going to be convincing.
All right. All right. Those are your parting words there. Then I'll take that for to the bank
But I'm
anyway.
not saying Nigeria is going to win. I say if they
Yeah,
win
yeah.
that game, it's
They
going to
win.
be convincing. But let's
Got
get to the match predictions in on Friday. Then I'll be able to know to tell to my papa in Oku and know who's going to win the game.
All right. Um, True Lion. Tomorrow's games: Namibia, Mali, South Africa, Tunisia, Tanzania, DR Congo, Zambia versus Morocco. I'm not going to ask you who makes it out of the round, who makes it out of the groups, the remaining groups, but I just like to know what do you think? Who do you think actually is going to face Senegal in the second round?
Well, I can say that it
We,
will be
we can't know
no,
yet, right? Because it's going to be one of
yeah, I
those
cannot
three
say.
All
teams.
right. I
So
just want you to predict. I want you to pick somebody.
let
Who do
me
you
see.
think is your best third place team right now?
It's going to be wait third. If it's a third place team to play
It will be the
Senegal,
worst. It will be the worst of them because
the
Senegal
worst
had
of them because
9 points.
Senegal is the best.
Yes.
So right now, let me see.
So right now, third place teams we have um
I'm
Ivory
going to
Coast.
make the wild guess. It's going to be Ivory Coast. It's going to be Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is going to make it.
No, I really don't want Ivory Coast to make it.
No, I
I
don't
want
want them to make it.
I want
I
trouble.
wanted
I want trouble.
Algeria
Yeah,
and Ivory Coast to be out. Algeria is out. If
I
Ivory
want
Yeah.
Coast
So
trouble.
does
if
it, Ivory Coast
if
will be good. But
if the
for some
scores,
reason, I just think Ivory Coast is going to make it. I don't know
yeah,
why.
it's home advantage. If the if the second round was starting tomorrow, right? Right now it will be between Namibia and Ivory Coast to play
Mhm.
Senegal. So whatever happens tomorrow, we'll see. Maybe Namibia comes off with the goods, and South Africa falls into that place. Who knows? Or Zambia magically finds the
Yeah,
combination again.
because
Morocco.
if the way it is, because they have lots of chances to make it.
Yeah.
Because if
Yes.
Morocco beats Zambia, I know we're going back to the if Morocco beats Zambia and Congo beats Tanzania, Ivory Coast qualifies.
Ivory
They
Coast
don't even
goes.
have to look. They don't even have to wait for Tunisia. Then
Yeah.
if South Africa beats Tunisia and Mali beats
Namibia.
Namibia, Ivory Coast qualifies. So you see, they still have like
Yes,
70,
either way.
60, 70% chance of qualifying.
All right. All right. We've come to the end of the stream. Any parting words, gentlemen?
Well, I
Thank
think,
you.
yeah, I think the only way Rigobert Songs remains coach of Cameroon if he beats Nigeria, not because Nigeria is a good team, but just because that rivalry Cameroon Nigeria, it will be hard to make a case against Rigobert Song if Cameroon beats Nigeria.
Okay. What about you, Steve Ajab?
Parting words is Cameroon has made it to the round of 16, and it's possible for them to make it to the round of 8 because, like I said, it's going to be a clash of underperforming teams. So it's Nigeria doesn't look like favorites in this game. It's a 50-50.
All
Yeah, it's a
right.
50-50. Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen,